This is a map of Jerusalem, and here is the Old City, divided in four: the Christian, Muslim, Jewish, and Armenian quarters. Now let's zoom back out. This is the 1949 armistice line, the ceasefire line at the end of the First Arab-Israeli War, and the internationally recognized border between Israel and Palestine. As you can see, the Armenian Quarter lies on the Palestinian side of the 1949 line. After the 1967 Six-Day War, Israel annexed East Jerusalem, the West Bank, and the Old City, bringing these territories, including the Armenian Quarter, under occupation. The decision of Jerusalem's Armenian Patriarch to a 99-year lease-off of 25% of the Armenian Quarter of an area known as the Cow's Garden has therefore not only raised red flags for Armenians, but also for Palestinians and Arabs.
It was the most important quarter in the negotiations at Camp David. President Arafat, God rest his soul, at that time refused to concede to the pressures of Ehud Barak and to the Israelis to give up the Armenian Quarter. And we said that the Armenian Quarter is an integral part of East Jerusalem, which is under occupation. And in order to substantiate that, I went with late Faisal Husseini, who was the Minister of Jerusalem, representing the PLO, to the Patriarch Torkom Manukyan, God rest his soul, and we got a firman from him saying that the Armenian Quarter is an integral part of the Old City and it is under Israeli occupation. So from there, the risk in the future negotiations over Jerusalem will be detrimental to the national ethos of the Palestinians and the Armenians if that property goes to the settlers and if that property becomes part of West Jerusalem. So you can see the gravity of the situation.
As a result of the deal, Palestinian and Jordanian authorities froze their recognition of the Armenian Patriarch Nurhan Manukyan. They say that land internationally recognized as part of Palestine is effectively being handed over to Israeli settlers. Israeli settlements are communities built within the occupied territories and almost exclusively inhabited by Jews. The international community considers these settlements to be illegal under international law. In the past, Israel would dismantle certain settlements, but Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's new right-wing government has been relying on support from the settlers and is taking a much more extreme stance, giving the green light to many settler organizations. The settlers have been making a special effort in Jerusalem's Old City, targeting not just Palestinians, but other non-Jewish communities.
The Israelis have a passion to buy up anything within the Old City, no matter which community it is. So there is a settlement issue, which is very clandestine. So in this city, we play hide and seek. You pretend you don't know what's going on, but you know that you are targeted. If you are a landed person, you are targeted more. So the Greeks and the Armenians are landowners in this city. So these two communities are targeted all the time, but always clandestinely. Sometimes they succeed, and sometimes you can block them. Living in Jerusalem, you have to be vigilant about your land, day and night.
This isn't a phenomenon that's only been happening to the Armenians. The Greek Orthodox Patriarchate, whose adherents are mainly Arab Christians, have been facing similar issues. Near me is the Jaffa Gate, the western entrance into Jerusalem's Old City. Just by it are two hotels, the Petra Hotel and the Imperial Hotel, both owned by the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate. In 2004, it came to light that there was another similar lease agreement between the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate and a Jewish organization.
It is not me to judge him, it is God.
Abu Ali Dajani runs the Imperial Hotel. After 20 years of his own legal battles, he called on Christian groups in Jerusalem to unite to stop the Cow's Garden deal.
2 words to the Armenian committee: move and move fast.
The Jewish organizations involved in the Cow Gardens deal or the Jaffa Gate hotels are shrouded in mystery. However, Ataret Kohanim, the organization Dajani dealt with, has publicly declared that their aim is to establish a Jewish majority in Jerusalem's Old City.
Ataret Kohanim, ever since the Six-Day War, has been fighting the Seventh-day War, walking in the footsteps of those paratroopers, revitalizing Jewish life in this holy basin, in the heart of the Old City, in the pumping station of the Jewish world, in and around the Old City. And that, in a nutshell, is a story of Ataret Kohanim and United Jerusalem.
I'm a Muslim by birth, and I'm fighting for the existence of the Greek Orthodox Church. And being a Muslim, what's in it for me? I have been suffering for the last 20 years. When they made this deal, they went to the Virgin Islands and they make companies in the Virgin Islands. They go through shell companies and then everything they do, blackmailing, pictures, all these bad things, pressure to put on top of your back. Why we Jews are not allowed to buy properties inside the old city? Some people, they will ask you, why? I tell them, to buy is not a problem, but the way is a problem.
As Orthodox Christians celebrated their Christmas holiday, there was one senior cleric who didn't make it to church. Irenaeus, who at one time was Greek Orthodox Patriarch in the Holy Land, performed Mass alone, remaining holed up in the church compound in Jerusalem's Old City, where he says he's been trapped for 3 years. Irenaeus had been deposed in 2005 over allegations he signed a land deal handing over church properties to Jewish settlers. He maintains he was unaware of the transactions, though 2 officials close to the Patriarchate confirmed the former leader was being held against his will. Theophilus hasn't been formally recognized by Israel, Jordan, and the Palestinian Authority, and back at the church compound, Irenaeus says he believes he's still the real leader, even if he's been reduced to offering seasonal blessings to his supporters using a mobile phone.
When Irenaeus was elected, it took him 3 years that they would recognize him, the Israeli government. Who told Irenaeus, I will get you from the Israeli government recognition? And I don't say out of blue moon, I have documents. The same thing happened with his successor, with the Patriarch Theophan. 2 years, and there was a shopping list. If we want to recognize you, one of the problems would be to give us, to keep the properties on Jaffa Gate for the Jews. And if this will continue, my friend, I'm sorry to say, if you come back after 20 years, you will not fight in Armenia. And you will not fight the Catholic, and you will not fight the Greek Orthodox.
The new Greek Orthodox Patriarch immediately initiated legal procedures in Israeli courts to cancel the sales. He claimed that the deals had not been approved by the ruling body of the Greek Church, and that the finance director responsible had received money from Ataret Kohanim to advance the deal. In June 2022, Israel's Supreme Court ruled that Ataret Kohanim had purchased the properties legally, and that the 3 properties in Jerusalem's Old City now legally belong to the Jewish organization. The Jaffa Gate properties and the Cow's Garden have caused fears that the whole Christian character of Jerusalem is under threat. We spoke to the Latin Patriarch, who echoed those concerns.
I hope, my prayer is that the property, the Armenian property, which is strategic, is very important, remains Armenian, remains Christian. Because for us, my concern as a Latin Patriarchate, as Latin Patriarch, is to keep and to preserve the Christian character of Jerusalem as part of the multi-religious character of the city. We Christians are very few in Jerusalem. We have properties, and these properties are, in a way, they mark our territory. The properties here are not neutral properties. Where there are Armenians, there will be Armenian. Where there will be Christians, there will be Christians. Where there will be Jewish properties, will be Jewish presence, and so on. So it's a very sensitive issue. I hope that all this crisis will help that the Armenian Patriarch could clarify the situation as soon as possible, because this uncertainty about the situation is not positive for them, first of all, but also for all the Christians.
At first glance, it seems like a lowly car park, but the Cow's Garden has geographic strategic significance. It lies on the highest point of the Old City and is close to the three major holy sites: the Christian Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the Islamic Dome of the Rock, and the Jewish Wailing Wall. Similar to the Greek Orthodox property deals, the Armenian Quarter's Cow's Garden deal was done without the approval of the Holy Synod and violated the St. James Brotherhood's constitution. Moreover, tenants who have been living in their properties before 1967 are supposed to be protected. Many now worry that they will be left without homes. In addition to all of this, far more is at risk. According to the Patriarchate's real estate director, who has not responded to CivilNet's requests for comment, was defrocked after it came to light that other properties around the Cow's Garden had also been incorporated into the deal. These include people's houses, the Patriarchate's garden, areas of the seminary complex, and even the Patriarchate's printing house, which was Jerusalem's first printing house, established in 1833, before Hebrew and Arab printing houses. The Gulbenkian Library, with a collection of 4,000 plus manuscripts, is a vital source of world history and culture. It too is under threat. Though the Greek Patriarch was dethroned for the 2004 deal, the Armenian Patriarch looks unlikely to lose his title. Only a member of the Brotherhood can accede to the Patriarch's throne, and there are just 36 members of the Brotherhood around the world, and just a handful that hold the rank of bishop. The Patriarch is seen by authorities as the representative of the Armenian community. Analysts said that there may be little recourse. Armenians in Jerusalem cannot sue in Israeli courts. This has led many community members to fear that 25% of their quarter is indeed gone, perhaps forever.